And with high water in certain parts of the basin, there is drainage danger. Recent storms left streets overrun by water. So we want to know, can it be fixed? ABC Big 2's Rob Took spoke to families and the city of Odessa about those next steps.
People say it's been a problem for years, and often they have the same thing to say. What is wrong with the drainage system? So I spoke to the city's director of utilities to ask what can be done to fix the flooding.
Don't go in the streets because you're gonna get stuck. One dude didn't care.
I cut across, and I know it's illegal, but hey, I had to get my car out of here.
There's nothing about this that's been normal.
The water just took his car and turned him into a 360. I mean, it's insane.
Sometimes you see boats.
A mattress had floated down the street. I mean, we saw a dumpster in the middle of the road.
I've been seeing cars float down the river, basically, on Tom Green.
This is wild.
It's the city's kind of job for their tax money to make this stuff not happen.
And it's just incredibly frustrating.
They should have some civil engineers come out and solve that problem.
Tom Carey is the Director of Public Works and Utilities in Odessa.
Drainage is extremely important. It has to happen or flooding will happen.
I met with Tom to see if there was an answer for all the flooding.
We recognize the issue and we're concerned about it. It impacts lives. It certainly does. It impacts these people's lives.
Odessa lies in a floodplain. Tom says the city is mainly flat with an incredibly slight slope, about 100 feet from the northwest corner of Odessa to the southeast corner. That allows for floodwater to drain through that way.
Areas that don't have a lot of slope, water has to build up a little bit in order to achieve velocity so it'll flow out more quickly. So if the intensity is high, the water can't get out as fast as the water's coming down. It builds up and floods.
That water passes down through something called a draw, a form of terrain where two ridges are parallel and have low-lying land in between. It's a natural drainage path the city relies on.
Our streets are one of our major drainage paths. We use them because they are available.
There is the Monahan's Draw, which runs south of the city, and the Muskingum Draw, which runs down the center of the city.
A good drainage way will go ahead and move the water out, and so it won't stay for days.
Tom says those natural pathways are critical to getting water down south to the reservoirs, where water can be impounded for consumption. Playas surround and pocket the city's terrain too. They're low-lying areas of the basin floor that form naturally and collect water. That means heavy rains that happen for several days are likely to turn those playas into shallow bodies of water.
You can't cut off this whole watershed from draining through here. It just does.
And while the water can accumulate after periods of heavy rain, over time, that water is expected to flow, spread, and dissipate. Ground cover absorption, volume of water, and the intensity of the rain are just some significant variables that can and will influence how the water runs off and whether it accumulates. Historical development in Odessa is the first problem city engineers are faced with.
Developers put in housing along these areas, and it wasn't a good idea.
Tom says those homes were historically built in those drainage areas, like in the Muskingum Draw, and it happened before the city became dense with homes. Because of the development, which Tom says encroached on the natural drainage pathway, the water will flow out, but it will create flooding as it does.
You would either need to build a big dam, and I mean it would have to be a really big dam. We hurt when it happens because we can't fix it right away or may not be able to fix it ourselves.
Those homes are faced with little chance of remedy. If there is a solution, it wouldn't be easy to come by. For example, the intersection of Dixie and 42nd Street.
To elevate that roadway, it's not that it can't be done, but it would be quite difficult and quite expensive. And the properties around it are built based on the roadway that is already there.
Because of how flat Odessa is, the storm drain system, culverts, and piping that do exist aren't as effective as the method of open channel drainage.
Those pipes, you have to keep them at enough grade that they flow fast enough that debris doesn't settle in the pipe, and you would need everything to go over the top of them if you built them.
The big focus is on future development. When building, Tom says the focus is to prevent additional impact on homeowners in those natural flood areas.
For the existing conditions, again, they're a greater challenge. We would love to be able to solve them and solve them fairly easily, would always help, but they're not easy solutions. When they complain, we understand why they're complaining. It's a very unfortunate situation. In terms of, we can't tell you that we can do something that'll stop it from flooding where they are. First thing is that we can try and control what happens as we go forward so that we don't impact people poorly. I don't want to give false hope. I don't want to say that there's something we could go out there and tell these people that, hey, we can fix this for you. The situation is not going to be one that's solved easily.
The city of Odessa is tasked with maintaining those natural drainage pathways and stream channels. That means keeping it clear of debris like tree limbs, tires, and trash so they don't float downstream. Maintenance is a major effort because of the size of Odessa, but perhaps the biggest challenge is staying staffed. Tom says there are 15 vacancies right now in the streets division from before the pandemic, and that hiring can be hard to come by because of the demand for labor in oil fields as well. I'm Rob Took in the studio for ABC Big 2 News.